Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It is absolutely wild, and this was an unexpected jump on for me. I wanted to give you guys enough time to plan because so much is happening all at once. So we're going to break this down piece by piece and we're going to do it quickly. And I'm going to give you some tools on what you can do in order to keep everything nice and balanced. Hello, Kristen. Hello, everybody. It is wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So got a few things coming up. First, we've got an M2 class solar flare that is headed towards the earth right now. A lot of you blew up my phone, blew up my messages from the community, and went crazy yesterday afternoon explaining that your animals were reacting different ways. Your children were going nuts. You were feeling shaky. You were feeling annoyed. All these different emotions were coming up. That is because you were feeling this solar flare begin. Many of you in this community, you are advanced people. You are advanced energies. You understand that you're going to feel these things as they're forming. And then by the time they reach the earth, you'll pretty much have a solid way of keeping yourself nice and balanced as that happens. So that's what was going on yesterday afternoon. Everybody's good. Take a deep breath. Some of the main things, I've got my notes right here. Some of the main things that a lot of you were explaining that you were feeling were anxiety, fear, anger. This one was coming out big time, self-hatred, or a lack of self-love was really boiling up to the surface for a lot of you. And that all has to do with why and when this is taking place. So we have this flare coming in, which is going to usher in that high octane energy. Those of you who are in the Astrolo class, you were well aware that this was going to be a pretty intense month for this energy to come through. We also have a huge, I don't like to use the word portal because the word portal is so tainted by people who are, they just kind of just use different language out there. So we have a giant opening of energy coming in on 11/11. So that is a really important date for many of us. In preparation to it is this M-class flare. It literally popped out of nowhere. It is causing radio blackouts. It is causing a lot of issues with our electronics. It's causing a lot of funkiness when it comes to some of the airwaves and the Wi-Fi, which is why I'm really excited that this is actually going through without it having issues as far as my personal Wi-Fi feed goes. It's been absolutely insane. So we can expect more of that over the next 48 hours. I would like to say that that will calm down, but those of you who are in the Astrolo class this month, you can tell just by watching the energy that's coming through celestially that there is no indication of us really getting a break here. So 11/11 is coming up, and that is an opening energy for all of us. I want to just give you a little information about 11 in and of itself so you can understand where that's coming from. That's also something that we do in our community. We don't just want to hear the information. We want to know why, and we want to educate ourselves because as a leader, like those of you are, we need to be able to go back if someone does have questions and explain it. So it isn't just a situation where you're getting this information and you're just going to accept it at face value. I want to give you the science. I want to give you the energy behind it. I want to give you the reasons for it. So 11 in and of itself is a high spiritual numerology number. Those of you who are involved in any kind of numerology practice, it's similar to so many different belief systems out there. And the cool part is when you start to connect the dots and put all these things together with the celestial energy, with theology, with the way the universe works, with numerology, with astrology, with all of these different things, they actually all work together rather than as separate systems. So being able to pull them all into one is so helpful. The number 11 is about unity. It's about a high spiritual gifted creation coming forth and opening up. We are going to be reaching a point where that's going to be doubling in just a day or two here. So we're going to have the 11 for the month itself. We're also going to have 11 for the day itself. And then if you were to add up the entire number, so the day, the month, and the year all together, you would come up to a numerologic number 9. Number 9 is also a high spiritual number, and it involves unity. It involves what would be considered to some theology practices the Holy Trinity. It involves the body, the mind, the spirit, the triangle, that Merkaba, that really intense combination of all that is. So that's what makes this 11th so special. It isn't just every time it's November 11th, it's this massive great energy. That's not the case. This one is unique. So, of course, as that hits as our trigger, that it's going to be extremely powerful, we're going to be seeing the sun react to that. We're going to be seeing the celestial energy take a little heightened pattern. We're probably going to be seeing the earth itself go into some patterns of either extreme weather conditions or earthquakes or all sorts of different things that happen when this is working in synergy. So why is this occurring? It is not to torture us. It is not because the world is coming to an end. You know, I have to smile because there's so many belief systems out there that are so rooted in fear that they aren't taking the opportunity to grow during these periods because they're choosing fear. And fear is really the only thing that's going to block you from your gateway to what you truly are. Fear is only held in the ego. Fear is held in darkness. Fear is held in whatever you want to call it spiritually, that is the opposite of light or the opposite of what we're made from, in the opposite of love. But there is a lot coming out there about this being a time period that is scary, where things are going to be, you know, an upheaval and all of those other things happening. And yes, whenever there's something new being born, you are going to see things that were blocking that new birthing fall away. And nothing ever goes out easy. So it's going to be a process of a leaving. It's going to be a process of a death, so to speak, that we're going to be watching, of certain things that are no longer in line with where we are headed as a culture, where we're headed as souls, and where the earth is headed in and of itself. So this 11th coming up is going to be a huge opening to that. It's going to be the first steps that we start taking towards that 2022 energy, which is the kickoff of everything. The past year, the past few years, the past period of time here has been more about the preparation. Now we're going to be about putting those things into motion. So it's going to be really important to take everything you've learned and make sure that you're applying it. Okay, so be aware of that. Be aware of that triangle energy. And on that note, we're going to do a really quick, just a technique to really anchor in this energy as it's coming in on the 11th. You can start now, because when you have that massive coronal mass ejection energy coming in that's occurring, you already have that gateway open. So we already have all of those universal forces at play right now, really paving the way for us. So what I want you to try and do is take a quick moment to place your hands into that triangle that I was just talking about, that unity symbol, that number 9, that Holy Trinity, that body, mind, spirit. There are so many different belief systems that understand the honoring of this triangle as oneness. So placing your hands into this position actually takes the flow of energy throughout your entire body and unifies it with those 3 elements that are extremely important. Now take a deep breath in and out. And for me personally, this energy is hitting pretty heavily in the heart. I'm not surprised, because the Taurus energy coming up on this moon, those of you in the Astrolo class, you already are aware of this, that heavy heart energy was going to come in. So I'm going to place this triangle at my heart and breathe in and out. And you almost feel like the pressure is being removed, like a pressure valve is opening up. It's really intense. Hello, 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 look up. Yes, it's very, very intense right now. So just breathing in and out to open that is huge. I also, during my meditation, I'm combining this with a mantra that I wanted to share with all of you that has worked really well for me. And that mantra coming up, especially because remember, we're working with that number 9 energy, is ignite peace and oneness with the universe. I ignite peace and oneness with the universe. So what you're essentially doing is you're using the vibration of your words in sound, and you're pulling that together with the energy of the frequency that's coming in. And you'll feel that move through your system. And I know that a lot of you out there, you're just sort of awakening to the concept that you're more than just this human flesh body. And you're really starting to understand that you are an energetic being. And that is a little bit intense for a lot of you. It's intense for all of us when you first sort of take that leap and you start asking those questions and opening up for more. So the best thing to do after you start to really understand that is learn how to work with it, so you don't feel like you're going crazy or you have anxiety now or you're an empath that sucks up everybody else's energy. You always have control of how you move through your enlightening during this process. You are always the creator of it. So I urge all of you always to not choose the fear aspect and to choose to empower yourself. Okay, so I just want to check real quick. We've got the Taurus, the heart. Last but not least, those of you in your AstroloGift bags, this Pyrite stone, incredible. I have literally been holding on to this and placing it at my heart center for probably the past 72 hours, and it has worked so much. The Sunstone was great at the beginning of this month, and I'm still holding on to this one on and off. But this iron pyrite stone, huge. And this was in your AstroloGift bag. So you guys do have this. Those of you out there that do not have this stone in particular, more popular stones that could help would be a rose quartz. But if you're going to do a rose quartz, I would also do something that was grounding as well. So something like a black tourmaline to bring that energy down and really focus in. We've got this. We're moving forward. We're just a couple days from a massive release as all of this rolls in. And I want all of you to know that you guys are amazing. I am so grateful to each one of you. You are all huge leaders, and that is what our community is about. So I am so excited to have all of you on this journey with me. And we've got this. Okay, so I don't see any other questions or anything coming up on the chat. If you do have questions, though, put them in the notes. I will be keeping an eye out all day long and tomorrow and the next day to help all of you as much as I can. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.